Let's go.
Yes, thank you, Jerry, and welcome to Rugby League Journeymen, the rugby league show about rugby league. It's taken us a little while to get going in here. Bit of a slow start in the buy-round studios, but we are now up and running. Hey, Latsy, come on. We're up. We're ready to go now. We are pumped. It is finals footy, and no better place to get your finals footies preview than on the Rugby League Journeyman. With me today in the studio, it is Jeremy Latimore, ranked in the top 60 heavyweight champs in the country.
Let's go.
For boxing. Also, on the line, we have...
You didn't tell him I got a sore neck.
Latsy has a sore neck.
Watch 60 Minutes tonight. You'll see the story.
We've seen Latsy for about half an hour. He's brought it up 6 times. It's really interesting. I'm sure we'll get into it in the pod. On the line, we have one of Townsville's ranked in the top 60 fishermen. Currently up there, it's Jimmy Maloney.
And unemployed.
Jimmy. Welcome, Jimmy. And finally, at the table here, it's a gent that's going to go around on Friday night at Allianz. I said that wrong, didn't I? Allianz, thank you. Against the Cowboys, Toby Rudolf, Sharks Enforcer. Welcome, everybody. How is everybody? Who would like... Jimmy, how are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Spent the weekend down the Central Coast, catching up with family for the wife's nephew's birthday, so that was a good weekend.
And Jerry, how are you?
Good. I got the man flu over the weekend and I've kinked me neck, so...
From sneezing?
Huh?
What?
Nah, just getting back in the gym after me bout. I had a bit of time off, so I think my body's just adapting to training again.
Yeah, okay.
It's not used to having days off, so... Anyway, it is what it is.
Steve, can you do a neck count for me every time he mentions his neck? I just want to see if he gets to double figures.
That's 2.
I know,
2 so
it's
far.
2 in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Obviously, everybody saw on the pod. I'm saving you till third, Toby, because you're the person they want to hear from.
Oh, no,
I'm building up.
It's
That's
nice
what
to be
building.
wanted for once. It's nice to be
I'm
wanted.
building up.
Yeah.
Jerry, obviously, you had your bout a couple of weeks ago. You got the win, and then you did the shout-out to No Limit Boxing here on the pod. They've responded.
Georgie, mate, he acknowledged my persistence, so, mate, hoping to speak to him this week.
Oh, so they haven't actually reached out?
Not as yet, no. It's only Wednesday, so by the time the potty comes out, surely they would have reached out to me. But I know there is a card coming up.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know some other stuff, but...
Is that all you
So
can say?
what do you know, Jeremy? This is our platform, mate. Let it go.
Nah, I don't want to speak out of school. I don't want to release stuff before it gets released. You know, I don't want to upset my promoter, George.
Boring.
Jimmy, hey, I told you I've got a card for you if you want to step on, you little coward.
I'm glad we got this platform to give absolutely no fucking information whatsoever. That's awesome.
Mate, he's unemployed and I got him a cash payment next year to fight and he turned it down.
Who's Jimmy meant to be fighting?
Oh, no idea. I was going to grab anyone off the street who would flog him, yeah.
But Jimmy, you said there's a price tag to get you in the ring?
Mate, he just asked me and I said, mate, I need more cash than that.
No. I'm not getting out of bed for less than 10.
What, you offered him less than 10 grand to fight?
Huh? Jimmy?
Yeah.
Jimmy,
100%.
yeah, but Jimmy doesn't need 10 grand.
Exactly
It's
right.
Jimmy Maloney.
Right.
Who would go and risk getting their head punched in for less than that?
Jeremy Latimore, Derek.
That guy likes
that
testing
need it.
himself out. You should try it, Jimmy. You got the head that everyone wants to punch.
Cool.
Yeah, anyway.
Nice, Jeremy.
We're filming this podcast at 5:10 in the Arvo. It's not my go-to.
Don't blame the time.
Negative player.
Yeah,
Negative player.
and good on everybody.
Jeremy Rudolf, Jeremy Rushford.
Oh, nah. Good on everybody for letting that joke breathe. We did really well there. We just sat and we let it
Blast
sit.
in it.
Now, Toby, you're the person people want to hear from.
Yep.
Yep. Actually, Jimmy, you were asking him some quite good questions before we get on. Do you remember what you asked, Toby?
I just asked him how he pulled up. Tobes, how'd you pull up?
You're right. That was pretty good.
That was about accurate, wasn't it? Yeah, no, pulled up physically okay. A little bit beaten up as always, but nothing too out of the ordinary. Definitely more hurt mentally. We were so excited of the occasion and might have let the occasion sort of get the best of us in a way. Focused a lot of energy towards the size of the game, and I definitely had a hero moment. I don't know if anyone saw, but I attempted to grubber after being in open space for the first time in 2 years, and it didn't go very well. So
I forgot about that. That's awesome.
Sorry, Toby off record, he goes, I can't believe Maloney hasn't brought up the kick yet.
yeah, I thought that was really the first thing it asked.
I forgot all about it, but we did talk before that you must have spoken about through the week. The Cameron Munster loves a dummy.
Yeah, that was mentioned once or twice.
You weren't listening at that point in time, obviously.
Nelson's a great decoy.
Yeah, he's a pretty
So
good
talk
dummy
us through
target.
that. So because we've all seen it. It's what? It's like a metre outside the try line. How far? Less than that?
Yeah, metre off.
And Munster gets the ball and he throws it one hell of a dummy.
Oh, he's got the best dummy in the game, yeah. He does. No excuse, but yeah, he sold me the dummy towards the 130 kilogram enforcer, Nelson Solomona. And I was next to my fullback and I just thought, oh, well, he's going to need a bit of help with this tackle if Nelson gets it. Lo and behold, he's waved his magic wand and I've just looked completely in the wrong direction. And yeah, you're right, it was Cam McGuinness's fault for not tackling Munster, I agree. So, yeah, look, what a way to start a finals game. And I think we did really well to finish the half the way we did, 14-10.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
We stayed in the fight and it was exactly that. It was just an assault. Melbourne, they're such a clinical team and, there's a reason they're the Storm and they have that aura about them. Like they just game plan a team to the death and they just sort of simplified their game plan. And Melbourne down to Melbourne's a tough team to beat at any time, but when they're playing like that, unless you have a perfect game, it's going to be pretty hard to get away with the win. So really proud of what we sort of dished up in trying circumstances, but I wasn't good enough on the night. And mate, we're looking forward to this week now.
That is a very good response.
Did you like that?
I liked it. I liked how you started. I liked how you finished.
Okay.
You were saying, sorry, it was 37-10 was the final result.
Score, yeah.
Now, we'd like to get a bit raw here on the pod. You were saying to Jimmy earlier that mentally it was hard to come back from a loss like that, such a big occasion. What do you do then in the days post that to try and mentally get yourself back up?
Yeah, it's my process is like I can't speak for everyone else. For myself, I just sort of let myself feel it for 24 hours, maybe a couple of days at most, and I think for me it's not about ignoring the pain. Pain's there to be felt, right? So just sort of feel the disappointment, and I'm only disappointed because I care so much about the team and about about where we're heading and about the result in question. So I just let myself sort of, feel that sadness for a couple of days. But then as soon as Monday rolled around, it was time to, get back on the horse. And the only thing I can do is Friday's coming whether I like it or not. And I just have to prepare as best I can for that game that's coming on Friday. It's not going to do me any good midweek to think about what's happened last week or to go towards a game with an attitude of how can I improve. And mate, that's what I'm doing.
Flush it, baby. That James Maloney Dory effect. Just let it go.
Just keep swimming,
Move
baby.
on and go get after it. 100.
Just keep swimming, baby.
How do you reckon, Tobes, how do you reckon your mate Nicho's going? Because obviously he bears a lot of the brunt of it, and then there's so much talk. Like, I don't even watch all the news, but there's so much talk about 7 straight finals losses or something like that. How do you reckon he's going to go?
Mate, in the game, I think he's going to be Nicho. He's a superstar of a player, and I can't see him having any less of an impact than that. We've addressed internally all that stuff that's been written, and it's not ideal. I hate seeing it as a teammate and a good friend of Nicholas as well. Like I love to call him Nicholas, but we're 17 blokes out there, and he's the only one getting written about. And I understand he's the man that demands a big contract, but he's earned that. Like 2 years ago, he's Dalian Player of the Year, and just because he's had, essentially a poor performance in Origin that's still haunting him, it seems. The journos just seem not want to let it go. But he himself mentally does more work than anyone I've come across in or outside of this game. He's got his own mentality coach, mental coach, whatever it is, and he's just the ultimate professional in every way. Like I thought I dealt with my injuries well. Nicholas, just as an example, with his syndesmosis injury, if he's not training and he's not sort of doing stuff, he's icing his ankle. He's taking care of it. He's asking physios for extras to do. So I can't see how everyone just keeps being just so negative about this bloke. It is what it is, and that's the game. It's not fair, but and he accepts that as well. But I have all the faith in him in the world that he's going to deliver what he can potentially do, and that's be the best number 7 in this game.
I think he until he performs and you get the win, and I'm not saying he hasn't performed in the past because bloody hope he has. Like you have lost a close couple of games in the last few years in the finals, but that's just how the media is here, man. Yep. They look for someone to go after.
Sorry, I was just saying, do you reckon Trindle will kick for touch this week?
You're good, eh? You're good, You're as bad. You're right, James Alexander.
Let's have a laugh, boys. It's all right.
But the thing is, right, as your game...
It's funny when I lost my job, so let's have a laugh.
That was funny. So as your game expands...
Good response, James. Fair play, bro.
Yeah.
Hat off to you.
Yeah,
You can say what you want.
That was well
Now,
done.
as your game expands, right, more eyeballs, more people going, man, we love this sport.
Yeah.
Then there is more media around it. So we've started our little podcast.
Yeah.
If you type in NRL podcast now, there are 500 plus every network, everybody is doing shows. So the noise is louder, right? And then all these people, they just start listening to each other. And somebody says Nicho Hynes shouldn't be playing this week, then every other cockhead picks it up, right? So I guess it's a difficult balance because with the bigger the game gets, your paycheck gets bigger. With the more exposure, but then with the more exposure, the louder the noise gets. So, I mean, there's no right answer.
Catch-22, isn't it?
It is.
And I saw something, Nicho, like he accepts it is what it is, right? Like
Yeah,
he's paid well to perform, so he knows he's just got to go out and get the job done. And guarantee if you win this week and Nicho plays well, I'll talk about how good Nicho Hynes is next week. That's the reality of rugby league.
Oh, yeah. And they'll find somebody from a different club to
100%.
have a crack at.
It's just the
who should
beast.
be
It's
dropped.
the
Someone
beast.
from the Cowboys because they lost. Oh, mate, he sucks.
Tommy Dearden.
Yeah.
Get rid of
mate.
him. Put a bullet in him.
Jeez, their coach was terrible.
Mate, their assistant coach, mate, it's all his fault. Which one? Oh, the one that got sacked. Oh, hey, bro, how you going?
Can I just say, if Jimmy, and, things happen with jobs, we all know that. We've all been on the wrong end of jobs. How good would it have been for this podcast if we had an assistant coach up against a current player?
Imagine that.
But what about the Maloney effect? Gone 2 weeks, they're humming.
Humdinging, aren't they? They're going ham.
They could forget what I taught them already.
We've been through this, Jeremy. You can't unlearn it in 2 weeks.
Exactly.
You know that.
So, bit of chat around. I actually wanted to praise you before we get into that actual game, as in your game against the Cowboys. Off the kickoff, ball goes through Will Kennedy's fingers.
Here we go.
No, shocking start, but, and we're all about positivity here, first bloke to run over, low five, all good, mate, get back in the game. Big smile on his face. Toby Rudolf.
I know, he goes, you watch this, I'll save a try this set.
Do you reckon he walk over here and went, fuckhead, catch a ball?
Yeah.
So I guess what I want to ask you, Jimmy Maloney, for all your winning, the one thing always people talk about with you is confidence, right? Like you never, ever lack confidence. And a bit of chat around Nicho is that he lacks confidence. Now, I know that's the journo saying, I don't know if internally, if the club's saying that. Jimmy, is there something really basic that, that I don't know if Nicho watches this, or something really basic that you used to do to maintain your confidence no matter what?
Nah. I used to just play good all the time.
Every time.
Remember we had a beer around the corner?
Honestly, I don't know.
I know, mate. I don't know why I bother.
I think it's always been, to me, like when people say, like, if they make a fuck up or something goes wrong, don't dwell on it. To me, that's the most common sense and logical way to approach something, because nothing good is going to come out of worrying about it. There's nothing possible that can possibly come. So to me, it's just a complete logical way to look at things. So just go on to the best thing. I go and set up 2 more tries and let him 1, and I'm still up 1.
Jimmy, I wanted to ask you, like,
I love it.
in all seriousness, because I'm not too sure, has there ever been a game, you've definitely had poor moments of you've said yourself, but has it been a whole game where you've just toys you out of the cot, had a shocker and just completely, mucked it all up, or have you always sort of been able to bounce back during the game?
No, look, I've had games where it hasn't gone to plan and that, but I always prided myself on when the game's on the line that I wanted the ball in my hands. I think there's other players that, shy away from it and don't want to put them in a position that, and if you don't get it done, then, you stand in line of scrutiny. But I enjoyed it. That's why I played. I wanted to be good in big games. And when the game was on the line, I wanted the ball in my hands. I'd rather have a chance at it and fuck it up than sit there and not do it and wonder, what if, could I have made a difference? Couldn't I? So that was always how I looked at things. I prefer the ball in my hands where I can have a effect on the outcome.
Michael Jordan, bro. You miss all the shots you don't take.
Man,
That's Jimmy Maloney.
Mate, it's very good. We should also pause for a moment to say you went up against a very fucking good side.
Yeah.
I mean, minor premiers. That second half they played, pretty close to perfect.
I mean, that you've got to try just on half time. Like I was like, because you had the wind at your sail in the second half, and I thought you were going to come home with a wet sail, but because they didn't play that well in the first half. But second half they were on.
So
I think they had, didn't they have, wasn't their completion 96%? They were like 44 from 46 sets or something like that. So Melbourne have always been a good front running side. Like that's how they've been. They've always been better suited to front running. And then, when they just keep giving you the ball and making you travel 100 metres, it becomes very hard to do.
I saw a stat the other day. It was something like 68% of Craig Bellamy coached teams have made the prelim. Crazy.
Well, let me give you, this isn't my awesome statsy, but I'll give you one. He's won, you probably heard this is going around, 26 out of 26 games in finals that he's led at half time, he's won.
No,
really?
So even the 14-10, you guys were close. Bellyache's like, smoking.
Boys, just go out there.
Do whatever you want.
Front runners.
Yeah. Now, the other, I've got this is my,
Statsy.
this is my awesome statsy.
Let's go.
But I want to set it up with this. Is that the current best spine in the league? So
Jerome, Munster, Pappenhausen, Grant.
Yes. Now, here's why I asked. This is my stat. Bellyache's had that spine 10 times this year.
They've won.
9.
So they lost one.
Dragons.
Yeah.
Really? But that was Munster's first game back, wasn't it?
I think so. Is that an awesome statsy? You need to
Yeah.
beat that statsy. I stole it from one of the podcasts I listened to today.
You going to give him credit or not?
It's either Daily Telegraph NRL podcast, might be the ABC podcast, might be Footy Talks, might be... I steal from a lot of places.
Yes,
I personally would still take the Penrith spine.
Okay. Yeah, the Penrith one's very hard to beat.
I love Mitch Kenny, Dill Edwards, Luai, and Nath.
Ooh, I don't...
Three prems.
I think the difference, and I mean, I don't have an educated opinion, is Harry Grant. Like what he did on the weekend against you guys was unbelievable.
Yeah, but he played on the front foot. He's a runner, and he played on the front foot for pretty much most of the game. So I think it's always, when he gets that situation, it's always going to play to his strengths. If they're not getting so much momentum and he's not allowed to run, I think he's a different player.
Whereas defensively, Mitch Kenny, watch him get off the line. He's a maniac.
Well, if you peeled them off one on one,
Yeah.
like, so Pappenhausen versus Edwards.
Still Edwards.
But then if you're going Munster versus Luai.
Toss of the coin.
Really?
Yeah. But then I'm looking at the synergy between Nath and Jerome.
All right.
And then Munster and Jerome.
Synergy.
Cleary, Jerome, are you all going Cleary?
Mate, they've been...
Yeah.
Jerome's there to catch a Nathan Cleary fart. They know what each
So I was going Jerome
Hughes.
Hughes. I forgot there was 2 Jeromes.
Yeah.
Well, I've never met a Jerome in my life. All of a sudden, there's 2 in what we're talking about. All right, very good. So this week, let's talk about that. You obviously have the Cowboys if they show up. I mean, they didn't.
There's unlikely.
Yeah.
What happened there?
They didn't. So basically, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that when the Cowboys won, there was a rush to get tickets to Sydney from their fans, and as a result, there wasn't enough seats on standby. So the club, if we still had an insider, we'd know. But Jimmy, are you texting anybody there anymore or not? No?
Nah.
Okay.
I was away, but let's be honest, it's a massive non-issue. Surely it's just a bit of something to talk about. There's charter planes every day of the week you can buy. So
JT owns a private jet
I was going
company.
to say, JT owns his own airline, so surely he can somehow...
Well, the
get something
NRL has agreed to split the cost. So maybe it's going in JT's pocket.
Helps.
That's not bad.
Ooh, so does that help Cowboys or not?
Why?
They get a private jet?
Does he fly them?
Oh, wow. You're having a crack at his ears.
and he gives the motivational
cheeky.
talk over the speaker on the way down.
Maybe. What does happen? I mean, what does happen if in a final series if one of the teams doesn't show up?
I'd assume that the other team would win, so in that case, straight in the back. Let's go.
How good was that?
Yeah.
Like the old local touch and odds tag game. The other team doesn't show up.
Maybe we get like some of our boys to pay for the Cowboys and.
It might be, yeah.
Be one of those.
Shirts inside out, the old shirts inside out. And play against each other.
Fours versus non-fours. Jimmy Maloney walks out. And I know the captains.
The Cowboys, obviously, they defeated the Knights 28-16. That was a tight affair up until, the last 8 minutes.
It's a good game.
Yeah, a bit of chat around it that it was actually just the Cowboys versus Kalen Ponga. I don't know how fair that is. He absolutely played the house down.
That the Marzu.
He's hard.
Oh, mate, he comes off the back fence. He's such a strong ball carrier. Yes. What about Tomalolo's hit on Leo Thompson too?
Oh, I folded him.
Oh, mate.
He runs hard though, Leo Thompson.
You know, great player.
He gets folded like often because he runs so hard, you know.
Was that Hemlin Ueli got him?
Yeah,
a few
that's what I
years
was about
ago?
to say. Yeah, he got him a couple of years back. But no, totally contested game. It was unreal. I didn't know which way I was going to go at one point.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it. That's probably why.
Well, Ponga went through and he threw right to Gagai, but Tyson Gamble was on the inside.
Tom Humble.
Throwback.
So what are you looking at when you play against them?
Cowboys.
Yeah, is there, I mean, you can't give away too many game plans.
Yeah, no, of course.
Well, they got no attack coach. That's a positive. They're just a defensive team now.
Yeah.
Jimmy, surely you can give Toby some secrets here.
Go on then. Are we friends or not?
I actually watching the game, the Cowboys game. Didn't think the Cowboys were very good at all. I thought they were pretty ordinary by their standards and how they can play. So
I agree.
The fact that they got through, and I think they can play so much better. I don't know whether it was, they were expected to win. They're up at home, sold out stadium. I'm not sure, but it just didn't seem, especially early. They looked really unsettled. So I think there's a lot of improvement. I think they'll learn from what they did, and I think they're a good chance.
I reckon they're missing their blue shirt.
Cobes.
They're missing their blue shirt.
Well, they definitely don't have the same caliber of blue shirt. So that's
Who's doing it now? Bobby.
Mitch Dunn.
Oh, Dunny.
Yeah, Dunny.
He's all right.
He done a good job.
Oh, terrible.
Mate, honestly. McLean, when he scored, Matt Thompson said his McLeans are showing all right. That was
Is
a
that
bit of a
teeth?
highlight. Yeah. It's an old dentist.
See, I thought he done a good job. Was a bit better than that.
Well,
one.
but you talked to Matt Thompson. It wasn't I was actually bringing it up because it was shit. Now, other things out of that. Kyle Felt's still got some he's got some gas, isn't he? I thought they'd chase him down.
Yeah. No,
I think he had a couple of forwards and Jack Cogger
yeah.
going after him, so I think that sort of helped him. But the old boy got there, so that's the main thing.
Very good. All right, do you care that you're playing at Allianz and that there's a Swans game across the road?
Yeah.
A lot of people talking about this. I don't think it matters, does it?
So yeah, we're putting on a few buses for the fans to come out because parking will obviously be a nightmare.
Young Billy out the back. He's going to the game. He's making the trip from the Shire.
We have a work experience kid today, Billy in.
The show's really making some strides, isn't it? Getting work experience kids and all that. Come a long way.
Studying
Shout out to
journalism.
Billy.
Yeah.
Get behind the boys.
Is he a Sharks fan?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, I was his favourite front rower. He said, nah.
But he's a shark.
Jimmy
Sorry,
Maloney.
I couldn't be down in the studio, Billy. It would have been a pleasure for you, I'm sure.
It's all right, I'm here, so I made up for it for sure.
Current player.
Yeah.
Do you give a rat's?
No, I don't give rats at all. I'm a bit disappointed, might not be the right word, but it's a bit negative, I suppose, that apparently we're struggling to sell tickets. I've heard that the Sharks fans aren't too keen to get over the bridge. Obviously, we don't have the largest supporter base, and everyone in Crown doesn't like to leave the area when they, as Jeremy Latimore will tell you. So hopefully we can get fair decent crowd down there. Obviously versus the Cowboys as well, they can't sort of get a whole bunch of people down from North Queensland.
like interstate
can't get the
team
players.
too, yeah.
So
That's crazy because in 2016 they turned up like anywhere for us. So I don't know.
That was a
what it is
prelim,
about-
Jimmy.
yeah.
That's different. That was a prelim. This is... Oh, don't say it.
What are you gonna say?
I was going to say it's a dead rubber anyway because next week they play... yeah.
Go on, mate. Spit it out. What do you got?
Oh no! I just
what do you
think off the game, the form of the teams on the weekend. I saw them Melbourne and Penrith after a week off are going to be bloody hard to beat. So that's why I think it's different.
Thanks,
saying
Captain Obvious, mate. That's a great insight there.
Toby's sitting right here. He's
No,
preparing for a game.
I 100% want him to
say
win
that.
this week. Nah, 100% want him to win. I want him to win next week too, but I'm just stating facts. Jerry Statman.
I'm so glad we've got your breakthrough analogy
This
there.
after 5 o'clock fucking podcast stuff's got me rattled.
I'll tell you what, Blind Bobby could say that the top two sides ranked all year and they both got the weekend off. They'd be hard to beat.
Not all of us at home all day studying stats because we're other
Good on
jobs,
you, mate.
James. Jimmy Maloney.
Next question, please.
Seagulls take on the Roosters. Has anybody else got anything else for Toby?
No, that was good chat, Tobes. Really good insight there.
Toby.
I loved it, bruh. And what else from that game? Nothing. No one got injured, suspended. Anyone injured? Oh, Ramian? Inside male?
Ramian, we'll see how he goes. Hopefully he'll pull up okay.
Love that, bruh.
Yeah,
He's playing.
Yeah, Maloney, you heard off your sources at Cronulla?
Yeah, he'll be playing.
Hopefully we'll see how he goes, not too sure.
Cowboys, any injuries out of that? Oh, I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, I think they got everyone in jeopardy, actually. They might have to play the reserve grade side.
You don't work there anymore. Yeah. And you are on this podcast.
I think they pay him till the end of the year.
Oh, actually, speaking of playing, sorry, I've just remembered something. I was on his beautiful wife's Instagram story yesterday.
I'm glad you
and
finished up saying on his beautiful wife.
I love this, but Maloney, what happened? So they come down last week and they were meant to fly home today. Or was it yesterday?
Yesterday.
But they booked it for the week after. What happened there, Maloney? Was that you booking it or Jess?
No, that was my lovely wife who doesn't know how to book flights.
So did you only realise the night before?
An extra $570 out of the skyrocket, so happy days.
Good timing.
When she bleeds, bro.
Who's bleeding, mate? I'm about to go on holidays.
Wow.
Did you go all the way to the airport, Jimmy, or did you work out before you left?
Nah, we're at home and I reckon it was 8:45, so we're on the early flight out at 6:50. And I said to her, have you checked you and the kids in? Because originally they were on the booking. I came down later on my own booking. So I checked in. I said, have you checked yourselves in? She said, nah, I haven't actually. It's weird. I haven't got anything. Normally they'll send you an email or whatever out. And then sure enough, she jumped on and she booked it for a week later. So we had to jump on, change the flights, pay the fare difference, whatever.
Because Jimmy, like, even though he's very rat's ass and not very calendar orientated, he's actually a pretty good organiser.
He's a details man.
Yeah.
So how'd that go with your missus? Were you pretty understanding or?
She owes me $570. Sweet.
Nah,
she can pay it in other ways.
Oi!
Hey, thanks for pointing it out. I have skipped a little something that I needed to do. I'm a bit all over the place with the rundown today. Budgy Smuggler are our apparel partner. They've been with us all year and they have been absolutely outstanding. Look, we're kitted out in the studio now. That shirt, Jerry, your pecs are popping, bruh. You look amazing.
Up, Tina, the tucking titties. Oh, yeah, I think I know why you're jumping all over the shop. I think you have finals fever.
I might.
And we got excited for our boy Toby.
And he's wearing.
Yep, so you got the underwear on? Here we go. Tobes is wearing. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
very protruding.
Have you got a gland problem? Or?
There's no need for that.
He's packing some deep heat.
So, yes, they're the underwear. All different styles. You can get rubber duckies. I've got chilies. I've got jellyfish.
Yeah.
They're outstanding. Deluxe bamboo blend to keep your boys in check and make your tools look great. Also, the hat, Toby, look at that.
Yep.
Fantastic. You can get hats. You can get the actual Budgy Smugglers as well. Get onto their website. It is Journeymen RL is the code that you type in. Their website is www.budgysmuggler.com.au. As I said, if you do the code Journeymen RL, you will get 20% off everything site-wide. Whatever you want to buy, anything you see, 20% off with that code.
You can look like that. You can look like that. You can look like this. Oof.
You can look like Jimmy up there in Townsville. He looks cool as a cucumber.
Damn Jimmy.
So, yes, and obviously they can see how much you're supporting our show by typing that code in. So please do it. Another game going on the weekend.
I didn't think there was any other games, mate. All we care about is the Sharks.
I care about this one. I don't even know if I watched the game on Friday, to be honest. This one on Saturday, Sea Eagles take on the Roosters. Congrats to the Seagulls. They obviously got it done against the Bulldogs at the death, 22-24. What an ending to that game. And then obviously the Roosters, well, they were given a bit of a clinic by the old Panthers out there at Panthers Stadium. Gentlemen, who's going to win this and why?
Well, I want to start by saying, firstly, what an outstanding game it actually was between
Bulldogs and Manly.
Bulldogs and Manly. That was. Did you watch the whole game?
Yeah.
I was, and seeing not Burton, seeing Kikau, Ola Kawatu go at it for 80 minutes was just like champagne rugby league. Tommy Turbo's set up for the try right at the end was just scintillating, and it didn't look like Manly were going to get across the line at all throughout the entire game, but then they pulled it out right at the end. Have you got something to say?
I was just thinking, Tommy Turbo, right? You know, James Maloney enjoys a punt. You're at the races and you saw him getting around the mounting yard before a race. You're not backing him.
No.
He looks wounded, even out on the field, but he still turned up to help him get the job done.
Well, he's doing this thing where he holds his...
Yeah,
because there was one of the tries.
AC, but his knee looks crook. He's a tough man.
He is, man.
You know what, Latsy, but I reckon if you're liking it to the racing, it'd be like him as a Group 1 horse going out in like a benchmark 70. So even if he wasn't 100% fit, I reckon you'd still be a chance of backing him. He's a pretty phenomenal player.
He is. Yeah, no, great analogy there, James. I love that.
And that cooler try at the end where he lost...
Couldn't get any cooler.
Lost. That was a good one. That one was a good one. Where he lost his boot.
Yeah.
And then somebody dived to do an ankle tap. I reckon if he was wearing the boot, he would have got him. But the fact that the boot had come off.
He missed.
There's no way that he missed because he didn't have a boot on.
Nah, let's get the
Jimmy,
analytics out.
No, I've gone back and forth.
If he had a boot on, it would have stopped him. Please,
he went
leave
just
me alone.
underneath the sole of his foot. He would have grazed the studs. And he would have
And he would have kept going.
He probably would have slid across the line. But I'm just saying that was fate for the Seagulls. I think it might be their year. Lehigh Hopoate.
Wow.
Wow.
What about that catch to Bullimore?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just, because I mean, that came down with some snow on it. That bomb, that was a long way up. Came down, ripped it out of the fullback's arms.
Yeah,
mate, he had an outstanding game. He was getting harassed, bullied the entire game, and then he'd come out with a clutch play. Was that the bomb that we were talking about? The one that he
ran through, competed,
yeah,
back
yeah. That was nuts.
Can we get a What about the children that Hopoate produced?
Damn,
man,
what's going on there?
Mate, if he's in stud, back to the horse racing analogies. Mate, if he was in stud, could you imagine what you'd be paying for a ticket?
Oh, Jesus.
What do you reckon? 250K a service?
Oh, mate, he is on fire. Like,
I reckon Big Hopper, he'd throw in some extras too with his service fee.
You look like Albert's currently playing Lehigh. Then obviously
Will
was unbelievable, and then. Apparently, is there 2 daughters in the NRLW team at Manly? Someone was saying the other day, yeah.
So, I mean, when I worked with Hopper, there was 12 kids, but we're going back probably 8 years. So
There's
is there
Jamal
more than
as well.
12
Jamal
now?
played NRL.
Yeah, Jamil played when he was 25. He debuted for the Broncos.
Yeah.
I won a comp with him actually at Redcliffe.
Did you?
He was a gun, absolute gun.
Yeah, he's making NRL players. You know what they need to do? You know they're talking about this 18th franchise. Why don't you just take it?
Just crossbreed Hopper with a
The
couple of
Hopoates.
athletic sorts.
Mate,
We're playing the Hopoates.
oh, mate, that is a hectic team.
Oh, not bad.
Do you reckon a team, if they've just got a bit of foresight, they could organise that now and then sign them for 18 years' time
That's not
down
bad
the
shout.
track?
Jimmy Maloney, he's a visionary.
Well, how old's Will now? He must be.
He's retired. He's not playing.
No, but would he? Has he got any kids? Will now?
Oh,
I'm talking next generation
next
as
Geno.
well.
Maybe.
Oh,
They do say talent skips generation though.
the
So
pedigree.
your father must have been very talented.
Oh, we're talking about dads now.
No, come on.
We're not going there.
There's no need. I didn't even bring it up.
DCE, the old dog.
oh, wow.
Oh, mate. He's got a long neck. I've got a sore neck.
That's 3, Steve.
That was a big break between 2 and 3 though, so he's done well.
Oh, it's just getting stiffer.
4.
And stiffer with 4 F's.
Anyway, so obviously, DCE, old dog, doesn't change. Certain players with giant price tags attached to them, you know, they feel the pressure. It feels like he's never had that. He's had it for 10 years. He's been walking around with $1 million in his pocket.
Someone said to me in the second half, they go, mate, DCE's having a quiet game. Boom.
Yeah.
I was like, great work.
Yeah.
Because I was on the Bulldogs bandwagon on the weekend, so I was
Mate.
sorry, mate.
So, doggies, season over. Obviously, been 8 years since they'd made it into the finals. Building nicely. Is this seen as a triumph this year?
Definitely. Huge win for them. I feel like they've definitely come along in leaps and bounds. Massive advocate for Cam Ciraldo, as I've spoken about on this podcast. He obviously probably inherited a team last year, did his best, got players he wanted this year, turn them into a top 8 team. I'm excited to where they go next year.
Ciraldo actually in his post-match presser mentioned Jeremy Latimore and said the fact that he's been such an advocate for me is the reason why. Now, Jimmy, obviously you and old Ciro are quite tight.
Yeah, I spoke to him through the week, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you say yes or no.
We have a platform here. We have a platform here. Time for you to actually, use the platform.
It was just a friendly chat, mate, catching up. There was nothing business about it.
Boring.
How many years? 2?
2 years.
Hey,
2 years? Attack coach?
Got to speak to Gussie, mate. Gussie calls the shots.
Yeah, of course. He obviously said, Ciraldo said that Addo Carr, the noise around that wasn't really a distraction.
No.
As ex-players, is that right? You wouldn't even think about that?
Maybe, it takes attention away from the team and you can focus on your team. It is what it is. Like, for them, like, they knew they were going to get a massive crowd at their home ground. They played fantastic. They were very unlucky to lose that game. I think that, not a distraction at all. Not ideal, but it is what it is. You move on.
Have you been in a team ever where that's happened, where there's been a player...
We played against the Rabbitohs in 2018 when the Sam Burgess stuff come out. When I was at the Dragons, and remember when the phone call, was it the phone call when he was in
Screenshots?
Yeah. And like there was a heap of noise around them, and then they beat us. So,
So it
didn't really worry me. Didn't really worry him.
Well, yeah. Yeah, we all saw those photos.
I think I asked him for a photo at the school.
Yeah, I was going to say. All right, well, very good. So on the other side, obviously the Roosters went down to the Panthers. We were talking about how clinical the Storm were in that second half. That Panthers first, I'm going to say, 24 minutes?
Yeah, it was nuts.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Jimmy,
Down the line, Jimmy Maloney.
Mr. Panther, are they going to go? Is this their 4th year, mate, in a row?
Mate, they put themselves in a good position. I think for a long time it's been what they can do really well in a big game is they come out a million miles an hour, and if you can't match it with them, then you're just playing catch up from this get go. So they did it again. They come out, they start really fast. Very clinical, do what they do, and that's sort of how it ended up. They just jumped ahead and then they just kept it going. So, yeah, I think that's the key to beating Penrith or to going with them. Obviously, you've got to match that start because that's a big part of the game.
Cameron Smith said, let me read. I actually wrote it down. He said it's the best 18 minutes. I think he said. The goodest. He said it was the goodest 18 minutes.
He did not say goodest.
He said the goodest. That is let me find it here. This is as good a 18 minutes of footy we've ever seen from any team. Was that? I mean,
Yeah.
So they scored 3 tries in that first 18 minutes. For
but
Cameron
even
Smith to say that.
The back five of Roosters, they are so big, strong and dominant. They were getting folded. Like I spoke about Mitch Kenny before and the effect he has on that football team. Like him and Liam Martin, and obviously then you throw in the Bash Bros. Their line speed and energy is... I don't know. I saw my young bloke watch his YouTube highlights, and it was Ivan talking in the post-match press conference, and he said it was their best 20 minutes all season. But he's just like, they've been there that many times now. Like, it's just muscle memory. They turn up. They've won however many final games at Penrith. Boom, get the job done. Like, it was just like, all right, we're here again, boys. Let's do it.
So,
they were unreal.
So obviously you talk about the forwards line speed. Interesting that Spencer Leniu kind of missed that first 24 minutes.
Yeah.
So your old mate Robbo, Jimmy, any ideas? Have you chatted to him during the week first?
No, I sent him a text. He hasn't wrote back to me yet. So
Not keen. Not keen.
Mate, he's obviously focused on other things, James.
What would the
obviously, mate. But yeah, I just think Spencer's played off the bench most of the year, hasn't he? So why change it now? Obviously, I think missing Jared, as we said last week, Jared's a real leader for them, especially through the middle. And then I still think, they've been disadvantaged losing a couple of key spine guys so late in the season, that you just don't have the time to adjust and work out how things are going to run around that. So I thought like Joey Manu struggled to get into the game a lot there. So, I'm sure they'll be better for it against Manly. I still probably reckon Roosters will do Manly, but long way off Penrith on the weekend.
Well, Jared's back this week. Big Jared Warrior-Hargraves, at least for this week. Let me ask you, you obviously, Nelson was running at you on the weekend when you got sold that dummy.
Yep.
Who would you rather tackle? Full steam Nelson Asofa Solomona or full steam Jared Warrior-Hargraves?
In their prime, well, I suppose Jared's still in his prime when he's 35. I'd say probably Nelson, actually, because Jared's forearms are just so high.
I was thinking exactly that. You just cop those big bumpers straight in the head.
Yeah, so I think I'd go Nelson and just grab him around the ankles. I tried to do.
Well, I'll tell you, Blake Brayley, bro, he's a great defender. I saw him pick Nelson up twice.
Yeah, that was in that first little stint there when we
I didn't realise how strong he is.
Yeah, no, he's got his tackle. I reckon his tackle technique is actually the best in
Mate,
the comp.
Honestly, it's like very Jake Trbojevic.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable. I didn't realise how good a defender he was.
He dips late and he actually, manages to pick bloke. Nelson would have, honestly, 50 kilos on him.
And power, though, the power.
Yeah. He's a strong little nugget, mate.
Very impressed.
I'm telling you what, watch everyone here. Watch Blake Brayley on the weekend. You'll see some high quality defence. It's very underrated. Very underrated.
Now, obviously, we are chatting Panthers out there at Panthers Stadium. They are going to rip it down. They might have already done it. These construction groups, they work pretty quick.
Not knowing them, mate, no. Or maybe they've ripped it down, but the build will take 5 years.
Yeah.
Building
They're out
costs
of
to go up.
Combank, aren't they? Is that right?
Correct,
Or are they out of a call? They're out of Combank. So I wanted to ask you boys, obviously 2 former Panthers greats. This is the positive place that we've just entered. I can smell the incense. This is great. A little bit of a negative start to the podcast, because of the 45-minute delay. But now it's a positive place. I want to hear your favourite memory of that stadium. You guys played there a lot. I'm talking to Jimmy and Latsy, and you obviously played against the Panthers a lot. Who would like to go first? Jerry, you said to me on the phone call on the way in you got a corker.
I did not say that. I don't know. I had a few very good memories out there. We had a couple of really good years. I don't know. Scored a couple of tries out there. 3 tries. I had a funny memory with James Maloney, actually.
Let's hear
when
it.
he was out at the Roosters. I don't even remember this Maloney, but one of me about 18 games I started, we were playing the Roosters in 2013, so it was my first season there. And literally it took me 2 hours to get out to the game, sitting in traffic, because I was in the Shire then. We scored the first try, so I ran out to my little mate and just let him know we scored a try. I think they scored the next 10 tries, and every time, I was on the field for 20, then I had a breather for about 40, then come back on. He'd run past me and let me know.
That's a favourite memory.
Do you remember that? No. That was like a funny memory.
Yeah.
Do you remember that, Jimmy? 2013, you were humming, and I just chirped at the wrong time, and he let me know.
Not like you, Latsy. Hey, go off early.
That's what she said.
Jimmy, have you got one? A Panthers stadium moment?
Probably. I got heaps out there that good ones, but I reckon my last game out there before I left was memorable. We played Knights we missed the semis at my last year there, but we give the Knights a drumming on my last game, so that was probably pretty special. That was my last game in the NRL, and that was out there, so yeah, that was a good one.
Have you got one?
Isn't it crazy to think that Jimmy's last game for the Panthers, they didn't make the semis, and then they've won 4 comps since he's left? Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. What year was that, Jimmy?
2019.
2019.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? So weird.
That's
Anyway, side note. My
Great
favourite
pick up there.
Thank you. My favourite moment. I'm a little joy there, 20s and the rest of it. But 2021, maybe it was even 20. My first year playing in the NRL, we had a few friends come out to watch me. 4 of them. Bronson Garlick was one of them. He plays at the Storm now, and we were having a session planned after the game. Back then, in 2020, you weren't allowed to actually do anything other than play football, go to training, go home. You weren't allowed to go to the shops. So I had the boys yell out to me there on the sideline, and I was getting interviewed. I must have played mad or something. And I was saying, oh, yeah, it was a good game, blah, blah, blah. And then as the boys were walking away, I was like, oh yeah, okay, no, I'll pick up a case on the way home. And the journo sort of gave me a little look back, and nothing eventuated out of it. But I just thought that was a funny moment. Obviously not. Obviously it wasn't.
No. They're all good. They're all good moments. And
Do you ever make your way out to Penrith Stadium for any of your shows? No.
let me think. No, I don't think we did anything out there. Oh, no. All right, there you go. Great positive. I'm going to blame me there. Shit question.
Yeah,
I
great.
apologise, gents. I
great.
won't make it one stadium. That won't work. But it's all trial and error on this show, isn't it? All right, hey, you haven't given me who's going to win. Oh, sorry, you told me Roosters will get it done against the Seagulls. For you, Toby, who's going to get it done there?
Yeah, I'll say the Roosters getting it done as well.
And you, Latsy?
I'm going to go Manly.
Good.
Don't do that.
I'm going to mix it up.
Why?
Yeah.
What do you see?
Obviously, I feel like they weren't the better team last week, and similar to how Maloney spoke about the Cowboys, I feel like they've got another level in them. Roosters have had a couple of key players from their spine fall out. Hargraves will have a big difference on that team. In the wounded dog, you know, they always bounce back and bark harder, but I feel like Manly will get the job done.
Oh, very good. So all we got left really is if we've got a would you rather.
Have we got it? Actually, Jerry and Jimmy.
Oh, yeah. We got
I told one
Jerry
last
and
week.
Jimmy.
It's on you, Jimmy, if you got one. Surely you can make something about you.
I remember just a fun. Remember, Latsy, when we went to Rotorua that time and stayed in that little place. I don't remember. We played Pictionary. Have you guys ever played Pictionary?
Yeah, I played it with you then.
Yeah, I know, but it must have been your first time because you were awful. I remember we were playing.
Wait, is Pictionary the one where you acted out?
No, that's
where you
charades.
draw. Where you draw. And then I just have this one that sticks in my head. So I remember, I think maybe it started girls versus boys. So me and Latsy, and then the girls were playing, and then we were getting hammered. And then we changed it, went to couples. So then me and the missus and Latsy and his missus, and then they were getting hammered again, we were winning. So Latsy was a common denominator. But I remember one of the things they turned around was wheelbarrow. Right, so you had to draw a wheelbarrow, and you wouldn't believe what Jeremy started to draw. He drew a wheel, and then he started to draw a sparrow, as in wheel, and then rhymes with sparrow instead of just drawing a wheelbarrow. So when we did it, I think my missus was saying, just wrote like drew wheelbarrow, we're like wheelbarrow, yep, done.
I thought it was a wheel sparrow though.
and then we went, what were you drawing? And then that's the explanation that we got down to, that he was drawing a wheel and then started to draw a sparrow. So, yeah, that was interesting, Latsy, and how his head works. I think there was another one was we had fishing rod or something like that. So then someone just draws a fishing rod and they go, fishing rod. And then Latsy's out there drawing like the water and a boat and like this whole big thing to get to fishing. That was a bit of a laugh. Just
I'm good at that in charades.
Was that you and your ex-missus?
Yeah.
Was that
maybe that sums up why she left?
Yeah, I didn't want to say it too.
I actually took picture in their divorce. I'm so good at it now, Jimmy. You and your missus want to play? I'll bring Toby along.
Oh, my God.
Okay, there you go. Very good. Life and Times of Jerry and Jimmy. Do we have a quick would you rather? Has anybody heard one, got one?
Would you rather be shit and try and elbow your mate's son, or be shitty Pictionary?
Or be the Cronulla Sharks.
All right,
the finals,
like
baby.
We don't have a would you rather.
Would you rather be Latsy or Toby this week?
I'd rather be me, baby. Every day of the week.
Bro, I'm Latsy 365 days of the year.
This week I would be Toby. You, Jimmy?
Oh, I know what he's saying.
I don't think I could deal with the loss, so I'm going to go be Latsy.
Let's go, bro.
Clever.
Very good. That was the Would You Rather. That was the show. Follow us at Rugby League Journeymen everywhere. That's Instagram. What else? TikTok and YouTube. Like, subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your family. Keep us alive. Good luck on the weekend to you, Toby. We'll all be watching.
Go hard, Toby.
Will do. Thank you,
Jerry,
boys.
good luck getting a phone call from No Limit Boxing.
Let's go.
Jimmy.
Good luck on the holidays.
Yeah.
Good luck on the job search. Yeah.
We didn't say
Bro, if
anything,
you
mate.
need a
Come
hand,
on.
let us know, lad. I got you, Jim.
No. I'll call you when I get back from holidays.
How long you away for, bro?
Nah, I go next Thursday. So
How long for?
3 weeks.
I've got all your jerseys from in here at my house. Can I sell them and make a bit of money and I'll go your halves?
Nah.
Are we finished? We are.
I don't know. We still
All Anyway, hey, inside into Jimmy Maloney. You.
Ciao.
Ciao.